right, it's 4:15, and we'll call the County Finance Committee meeting to order, and we'll ask Commissioner Tony Smith to lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we want to thank Thee for another wonderful day. Lord, bless this group of people as we're here tonight to do the business for our county so it's equal, fair for every individual in our county. Lord, bless our troops that are fighting for our rights, our freedoms, our current way of life that we love to live. Lord, bless the people that are sick and need Your hand, Your guidance, and Your help. In Thy name we pray, amen.
All right, I thank you for that. Let me note for the record under roll call that Commissioner Janice Brothers would not be able to be here tonight, and we got our new sitting school superintendent, Tim Harwell. This is his first meeting, so we'll baptize him with fire. And we're excited to have you. You've been in the school system a long time, done great things everywhere we put you. You've improved the situation and shined, and so this ain't no time to choke. All right? So there you go. All right. So first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be added to the agenda tonight that we know of? Okay, we need a motion to.
Second.
All right, motion is second. All in favor? Yeah, Scott and Linda. Yeah. They're not very good not very good students. All right. And then the next item is the approval of the minutes from the May 26th Financial Management Committee. All right, you can push the button too, and I think Tony did a good job of reaching toward it. So all right. Yeah, so we got Mark and Tony. Thank you for that. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, now here's the exciting point. Public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak on any of the, well, actually public comment in general? This is be your time to speak. As the meeting goes on, you probably would not have the opportunity to speak unless there's a particular matter that we're dealing with. So anybody want to say anything voluntarily before we get started? Okay, I don't hear any or see any. We'll move on with that. Then under new business, here we go with solid waste.
Most of you know that the centers were closed on Friday the 19th, so they were really busy the day after, which always happens on a holiday. One thing that I would like to put out is that Wilson County had advertised several weeks in advance that their center was going to be closed, and people decided they'd leave trash outside their gates anyway, and it was piled up everywhere. But the police have gone through that, and citations will be issued to those who left their garbage there. So, and we've been very fortunate. Most of the time that has not happened, once or twice, but we've called the people. They've come back and picked it up. But once we're closed for that day, and our people need a day off too. So we do appreciate the public working with us. I attended a meeting in Chattanooga on the 11th, which was to address the new laws for tire transporters and the paperwork that would be needed to add it. This new law was passed by Governor Lee last year to help track commercial waste tires going to legal end users and recyclers. Commercial carriers will have to be registered with the state and provide manifests so that tracking of trailer loads of tires can be accomplished. This new manifest does not pertain to carriers taking tires to a facility to be transported by another carrier to the recycle. For example, Liberty Tire, who handles our waste tires, would have to be registered, but a person bringing or a company bringing tires to us would not. So it's only those commercial accounts that this really impacts. This law is in the final stages of being implemented, and hopefully it will help eliminate some of the tires being thrown out on the roadsides of the county and state. We were assisting Bell Buckle with their Moon Pie RC Cola Festival, which was June the 20th. We got all of our suits training, which was scheduled for the 16th. That is completed. And we've been working on closeout for the fiscal year and getting all of our invoices turned in. Recycled revenues for the month of May, $13,145.73. Tonnage was 88.95 tons. Landfill disposal costs $54,923.44 and $960.20 on the tonnage. There was a correction back on May on the tonnage, and that should have been 998.11 tons. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so up next is HR. She had a conflict, not able to be here. You should have a report. Archives, I don't believe, was able to be here tonight either. Again, there should be a report for you. Owner rep, he had 2 late afternoon meetings and wasn't going to be able to be here before we met tonight. So we're ready for monthly reports.
Okay, you've got your monthly report for the month ending May. I don't really have anything unusual to report. Anything, we're trying to do a cleanup amendment, so that will take care of any overages that we have at this time, and that will be next week. We will present that, and we're on track otherwise. I also have a report that shows the collections. If you'll look at that report, page 1, we have collected $1,008,000 more than we had last year on property tax. Now, we did budget part of that, but I'm just showing you compared to the year. Prior year collections, we received $215,000 more than the same time last year. Clerk and master collections are down $145,000 from the same time last year, and part of that reason is they were collected by the trustee before they were turned over. Sales tax collections are $873,000 more than the same time last year. And mineral severance, we will not have the final one until next month, until the month of June. So that's basically my report. And I've got a analysis of certain expenditures. Anything over 83.33% is highlighted in red, and all of those items will be taken care of in our cleanup amendment.
All right, comments or questions regarding that? All right, EMS report.
All right, we don't have a lot to add to our reports that you've already got. I did get notified today that we got approved for a federal grant for a new ambulance of about $305,000. So that's good news. The downside is it can take up to 36 months to actually get one, but we're going to go ahead and fill out the paperwork, and it's great news for the county. We're starting a new EMT and advanced EMT class in the next month or 2, and we've already exceeded the number of applicants that we can take in the classes, so it looks like it's going to be a good turnout. That's all the report I have, unless you have any questions on the
Commissioner Johnson.
Ted, is there any cost share with that grant, or is that 100%?
No, it's 100% funded.
Congratulations.
Federal government.
Well, do you have any options about what brand of unit you're getting? In other words, will you be able to get something that's similar to what we have, or was
We should be able to get the type that we have now. We're still working out the details with CMS and the state on what guidelines we have to follow. They did not send those. We have a call set up for next week with the state, but it should be up to $305,000.
so you may can pick up some other equipment,
Hopefully.
stretcher,
We're hoping
what
that
have you.
it'll come out as a completed ambulance ready to go.
Right, okay. Any other questions for EMS? All right, thank you. So, just motion to approve reports.
Move to approve.
Second.
Look at that, things are looking up, all right. All in favor? Any opposed to that? All right, thank you for that. Now we're ready for Surplus Board of Education. So at least smile down on that end like you know what it is. All right. All right, so obviously this would have went to the school board and the superintendent involved in that. So we just need now does this go to the commission or it's just an adoption here? So we need a motion and a second to approve it.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion second. You got those two folks. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, and now we have the Canon copier contract. Assume it's more than 1 year, and we'll need to go to the commission, but not the special call. It'd be the regular meeting. All right, so we need a motion to approve that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? All right, we're moving on now. We're ready to talk about any budget updates regarding the 26-27.
I passed out a handout on the tab 15, if you would. I think everybody's got it. You need to replace tab 15. What happened in the original one, I was under the impression that we were still applying the ratio to the non-real property. So during an assessment year, we do not do that, and I checked on that. So we took that out, and then also last year, we budgeted 4% as a delinquency rate, but after the year ended, it was really close to 6%. So I went by and revised that to 6% for next year, and that left the penny at the same amount as we had budgeted. And if you take the 214,500 times that, we also got a new tax rate last week. They changed our tax rate to 1.5083 total. If you take that times the 214, you're going to get 32,353,035. The difference in that and the per budget I have on there is the appeals, because we had over 140,000 appeals. So I rounded that up some to make it work out the same. And that's the budget update.
The new tax rate is still 1.5, is it
1.5083, and it's
Right.
on it's kind of the bottom section of that page. The first time we got it, it was 1.5009, and they changed it because I guess there were some appeals that went through.
Right, and they use the 3-digit number, so that's why
So that's the revenue neutral rate.
That is correct.
based on the state certified evaluation of setting that number. Right. All right. I've got some ag folks here. I need to update you guys on, I'm going to call it dead animal removal. It's a program that we participate in through the South Central Tennessee Development District. We've done it for many years, certainly before I ever got here. There's been some hard times. Of course, as you can imagine, the people that do that work, fuel has impacted them and other things. There's going to need to be an adjustment in actually the amount that they are going to need to be able to continue the program. We're working on how we will deal with that, but there was some discussion about possibly the program going away in southern Middle Tennessee altogether, and so we've had our ag folks working with the other ag folks across our region, and so Matthew Dietz is here from the UT Ag Extension. There's some other fine folks supporting him. I think we should let him speak for just a minute because he's been talking with the local farmers and help us make sure we understand the importance and the criticalness of having such a program, if at all possible, to continue. So if there's no objection, if you'll hop right up there.
So I'm the lucky guy that gets to give some facts for this program. Just a quick overview of it. So this is a service that's provided as a partnership between the 10 counties in the South Central Development District. What it has done in the past, so you can call this service, and we've got some producers here that I'd like to have them come up and speak to the importance of it to them specifically. But this service has actually been provided for a number of years. It's been a partnership, and the All Around Underground is a service that South Central had been paying for a while now to and in cooperation with Tennessee Department of Agriculture to offer this service at no cost to livestock producers in those 10 counties. And those 10 counties in Middle Tennessee, southern Middle Tennessee specifically, are probably the largest beef, cattle, and livestock producing counties in the state. And this is a service, again, that was offered for free, but due to Tennessee Department of Agriculture making some cuts on their end, they've unfortunately had to reduce their investment into the program. And then at the same time, as kind of a double whammy, the All Around Underground service saw some need to increase their operating expenses, and they threw out a number, I want to say it was 18%. And they said if we can get all the counties that are involved in this, all 10 counties, to chip in an extra 18%, we can make that work. And then TDA backed out of some of their funding, actually decreasing it about 2/3. And so what that looked like was pretty hard to make it a free service to livestock producers. So now working with a new partner that I think there's a contract in, and actually will be signed like this week probably, with a different entity. It used to be the South Central Development District. Now I think it's moving to the South Central Human Resource Agency. And it'll now be, if we can get the support for all 10 counties, to chip in 18% of essentially operating increases. And then now the producers will actually have to chip in and put some skin in the game and add about $50 per head of livestock that they want to have removed. And so I have plenty of stats here if you guys want. As far as on the county side of things, this is 2025 data. So last year, Bedford County actually had 355 tons of dead animal stock, which was about 813 animals, okay? And that's majority beef cows, or cows in general, calves, sheep, goats. Even we kind of forget sometimes that, Walking Horse capital of the world, and we've got quite a few equids too, and that's not just horses, that's donkeys and mules and such too. And so I think what it was looking like currently with the budget that was in place was about $82 an animal is what the county was paying up until this new cycle where we're talking about trying to increase. And so it's going from $82 an animal to $97 an animal from the county, and then the producers are paying that extra $50 per head too. So there is skin in the game there, and as far as advocacy for it, I think that most people would know that the agriculture is pretty important here in Bedford County. Almost 2/3 of the land is actually in agricultural production, and I can't, while I'm representing the University of Tennessee and I'm not wearing my name badge currently, so John, don't get on to me. But I can give you the facts as far as advocacy. We've got representatives here from from our Middle Tennessee Beef Producers Association, as well as Tennessee Farm Bureau, our local Farm Bureau as well. So, and then we've got some excellent knowledge with our I don't know if would you call it Extension Emeritus? Is that what you would, Extension Agent Emeritus? So, yeah. So, any questions on stats? I can try to answer those, and if we need to speak to the importance of it.
Commissioner Yockey.
Matt,
Yes, ma'am.
there'll be some people who won't pay that $50 and do everything themselves. So if you took out X number of percent, does it still seem like it will hold, even though our numbers might drop,
So
the 18% and the $50?
So I'm sorry. So you take out a certain amount of percentage on.
Well, in other words, for the ones who are not going to participate, they're going to take care of it themselves. So instead of the 800 and something animals, it might drop down to 750.
Right. Yes. So and it'll be on a per. I mean, there some of these fees are associated with the tonnage that's disposing of the animals, right? So the service actually has to pay a fee to dispose of the animal, right? So when they take it to the facility there. And I would speak to the implications of doing that, right, would be if you just take care of it yourself, that would be, we would say in the beef cattle world, we would say, take it to the back 40. Well, that kind of causes a little bit of a compounding issues, right? So anybody has any issues with black buzzards, well, you might see that increase. We might have a conversation about water quality. There's some arguments might be had about, composting the animals, but you got to have it under 2 foot of material all the way around and sourcing that material. Might think about burying it. Well, then I don't know if you've been put a shovel in the ground in Bedford County, but it's kind of hard to get deep in the ground to bury a 1,500-pound animal, sometimes 2,000 pounds. So yeah. So does that answer your question well enough? Okay.
Yeah, I would think $50 is a small price to pay to dispose of a large animal.
And there was a large survey that went out courtesy of Tennessee Farm Bureau, and overwhelming number of producers that responded to that. I think it was close to 150 people said they'd be happy to pay that $50. So it looks like it'd be a successful program if we could get the support from the county.
Right, and that 18% equates, I think, to about $12,000 more dollars. I think we're currently at about 67,000. It's based on your population, all that stuff. Whenever they calculated it originally, so that will have to reflect in the fund balance at some point. Maybe I was talking to Robert earlier. We make an amendment later and not actually change the numbers today, but somewhere, if we go forward, or as part of going forward, you would expect that we potentially have got to absorb 12,000 somewhere. And this is just one of the several things that happen throughout the year that wind up coming in at different numbers and have to be absorbed later. So that's part of the whole budget, and projections are not absolutes. So thank you for that. Is there any question particularly for the producer that anybody would want one of them to speak? They've done a great job. Matthew did a great job of coordinating with my office, but really being the hands-on for me, reaching out to the folks, making sure that we had an understanding of what their position and needs were, and then trying to figure out how we can continue to support agriculture in Bedford. And so this is certainly something that I think we got to try to see if we can figure this out, and certainly the producer stepping up to have skin in the game as well. I certainly feel like signals that it's a fair relationship between the two bodies to try to continue this program.
Nathan and Matt are back there. Do they want to say something?
Well, either one of you got anything to offer? All right, just come to the mic so that we can make sure we get you.
Any questions off the top of your heads that you want to ask me, or I can start talking? Okay, so my name is Nathan Hale. I am the president of the Middle Tennessee Beef Producers. We are a local nonprofit group here in Bedford County with several other producers from Marshall County and Fayetteville are in our group as well. So as a producer, I also have a off the farm job. I work at Nissan, been there 24 years this fall. I work 10, 12 hours a day sometimes. I come home, check cows in the dark, check them with spotlight. So if I find a dead cow that I've been doctoring on for 2 or 3 days, my only option is to drag it to the road, and then I cover it up with the tarp, call the number, leave them a message, and it might be a day or two to get it. The downside to burying it, as Matt said, to the back 40 is we're losing over 200 acres of land in the state of Tennessee a day right now due to development, farms being sold, older generation is selling out. So on the back 40, they've done put 50 houses in on somebody else's property, and the smell's going to happen. You get, it infiltrates your water. Like you said, black buzzards. Not only as producers, we have problems with the buzzards as well. And in the state of Tennessee, you got to call and get a permit for that. You kill 3 buzzards at a time, you got to call back, get another permit. I believe it, Matt, is that ended now? Has that changed? Remember? Not yet. Anyways, buzzards, when you start leaving dead cattle out, they'll start attacking your live cattle. I've lost calves, baby calves to buzzards. But nonetheless, I see some guys around here that have cattle. Dan Chapman's my neighbor. He's got cattle beside a farm I rent. John T, he's got cattle. He's been an extension agent for years, but he had a off the farm job too. We could use this, and like I said, Matt said, we don't mind paying our way. As the mayor said as well, we're here to extend our arm to help pay for it as well. So we definitely could use this as to help us out. That's
Okay.
all I got.
Yeah, good information. Anybody got a particular question for him? Okay. I'm scared to let you come up here, but go to the mic. Go ahead.
$214,500. And I did want to say, when the second page that I gave out is what the certified tax rate calculation comes out to be. That's from the state. We did have to add in new property, so it's not, it's a equal conversion, revenue neutral, and then we add the new property. 14,500.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, anybody else that, we got anything to say? Okay, now what about, is there anything else that we need to zero in on, particularly with the budget book before we move forward? Now, again, we'll be having opportunity study session for the commissioners after this meeting at 5 o'clock to ask questions and explanation about the book itself. But if there's anything this body needs to look at or scrutinize internally at the moment, this would be the time for us to do that as this body. Is there any, that's a question? All right, we ready to move on? Okay. All right, then this resolution 27-1 through 27-7, Robert. Go ahead.
This is a copy of the resolutions that will go to the commission. This will be at the special call meeting. And it's basically a summary of the information that's inside the budget book. And I also wanted to say that I did pass out a handout that includes information from the comptroller's website about budgeting, and there's some things in there about revenue projections. So it's just a information handout.
All right. Is there any questions regarding that? Okay, we're moving on then. Other business, which we should have picked up at the beginning, so I'm not aware or think anything's changed. All right, so we're ready for announcements. June 30th, of course, it's already been announced, but just a reminder, special call Financial Management Committee, 6:30 at the courthouse, just to do this housekeeping cleanup amendment that's strictly to do with the current operating budget. And then 7 o'clock is the special call meeting to vote and set the tax rate and approve the budgets. Oh yeah, give me 1 second before I lose my track, and then don't let me adjourn before I talk to you. As I assume most of you know, the sitting commission cannot actually give them or change their pay up or down, I guess you would say. I know Commissioner Epperson in the past has asked about it, but if the commission wishes to set a new rate for the coming on commission, that would have to be done before this budget is passed. I've not had anybody reach out to me asking us to do that. I don't have any reason to believe there's an appetite to change what the current commissioner rate of pay is, but this would be the time to do that if you would want it to be a different amount that the next sitting commission after September 1 would have. Does anybody know of anybody that's reached out, or is there any interest or specific request among us to change from the current rate? Okay. All right, now Commissioner Pinson, sorry. Can you go to the, yeah, please.
First of all, I want to thank a lot of our different agencies and people. We've had great success in time capsule items going in. We have extended through this Friday. So if you do have some time, and we've got some great stuff. So, and July 3rd, next Friday at 4 o'clock, that's when we will put the time capsule in the ground, and the Stars and Stripes Shelbyville Light starts that program. That whole 1 hour is being videoed to go into a grant that the Chamber of Tourism has received. So bring your lawn chair, be there 3:45, the show begins. And thank you for your submission.
All right. Other announcements that I might have missed? Anything we need to zero in on that before we adjourn? Now, we can't start the other meeting till 5 o'clock. So when we adjourn here, you'll have a break for a few minutes. Those that need to step out or not come back, we understand, but at 5 o'clock. And then it is public. You can't participate, but you can be present for this next one. That is the commission's opportunity to work with the Financial Management Committee to actually speak. So just so you know, you're welcome to be here, but it's participation between the commission and the Financial Management Committee. All right. Is there anything else I missed? All right. Or is there a motion to adjourn? Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.